Okay, let's dive right in. We're about to break down how you can use your brain's own hidden rhythms to master pretty much any physical skill you want, way faster than you probably thought was possible. This is all about learning smarter, not just harder.
You know that feeling, right? You practice a golf swing or a new dance move for hours and hours, but you just hit this wall, this plateau. It's a super common frustration, but it is definitely not a dead end.
So here's the thing. The problem probably isn't your effort, it's your timing. You might actually be fighting against your own biology, your own brain's natural rhythms, without even realizing it. But what if I told you that there's a hidden clock in your brain, a specific rhythm that dictates your absolute peak potential for learning? Let's dig into that. Now, you've probably heard of the 24-hour circadian rhythm, but for our purposes, we can kind of forget about that for a second. These ultradian rhythms are much shorter, and honestly, they're way more powerful when it comes to learning. They are the key to unlocking intense focus and making your brain change. 90 minutes. That's the magic number. Your brain and your body operate in these 90-minute cycles all day long. And each one of these cycles presents this prime window for what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain's ability to literally rewire itself.
So what's really incredible here is that your own biology is handing you at least 2 golden opportunities every single day to dramatically speed up how fast you learn a new motor skill. You just have to know when they are and how to use them. All right, so we figured out the when. It's these 90-minute ultradian cycles. But that's really only half the battle. Now we need to understand the what. Like, how do we actually trigger that deep neuroplasticity inside these windows? Because it's not just about the timing. It's about the very specific things you do that tell your brain it's time to change.
I know, it sounds totally backward, but this is the absolute heart of this whole method. See, in neuroscience, errors aren't failures. They're signals. They're essential data that tell your brain, hey, it's time to adapt.
And you can see the huge difference in what's happening in your brain here. When you practice something you're already good at, your brain's just on autopilot. It's comfortable, sure, but not much is changing. But when you make errors, that's what forces your nervous system to wake up and say, whoa, okay, what we're doing isn't working. We need to adapt right now.
You know that feeling of agitation, that struggle when you just keep messing up? That is not a sign to quit. It is the exact opposite. That feeling is the sign that your brain is flooding itself with key chemicals, these neuromodulators that act like a giant spotlight, highlighting the exact neural circuits that need to be rewired.
And this whole process has a really cool scientific name, Iterative Metaplasticity. What it means is that you're not just learning in the moment. With every one of these focus sessions, you're actually priming your brain, making your synapses more plastic or more ready to change so that you learn even faster the next time you sit down to practice.
Okay, so we have the timing from our ultradian rhythms, and we have the trigger from making errors. We get the science. Now for the really practical part. Let's connect all these pieces and put them into a simple, actionable protocol you can start using today.
We can boil this entire powerful process down into 4 really concrete steps. Let's walk through each one so you can build your own protocol.
So, step 1 is super easy. Just be an observer of your own energy for a day or 2. When do you feel the sharpest? For a lot of folks, it's mid-morning, maybe around 10 a.m., and then again mid-afternoon, around 3 p.m., but you have to find your personal windows.
All right, step 2. Once you know your peak time, you have to protect it. I mean, guard it with your life. Phone off, no distractions. This isn't just practice time. Think of it as your dedicated neuroplasticity session. It's that important. Next up, step 3. You have to aim for errors. You need to be practicing right at the very edge of what you can do. If you're getting everything right, you're just reinforcing what you already know. You're not learning. The sweet spot for rapid learning is actually making mistakes about 15% of the time.
And this is the pivotal moment. Step 4. When you start making those errors and you feel that frustration kicking in, the urge to just quit, that is the exact moment the chemical cocktail for learning is at its peak. If you can push through that struggle for just another 7 to 30 minutes, you are sending the loudest possible signal to your brain to change.
So you've done the intense work. You've pushed through the frustration,